In this video, I'm gonna show you how we can create this really cool cyberpunk jacket using Photoshop. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here, and as you can see, this is the final output. As you can see, we have a bunch of layers going on. First of all, I'm gonna go to my file menu and open. So if you download the same illustration that I'm using, it will be a folder and then you can open it up. So it has SVG file, EPS and JPEG. So if you're familiar with Illustrator, you can open the SVG there and make changes, save it as JPEG, up to you. But I'm just gonna use this JPEG that's already in the folder. This is good enough and I'm gonna open it. Now we need to make the colors flat. For that, I'm gonna unlock the background, so double click and hit OK. Now we need to make a copy of it just for a backup, if we make some mistake. So press Command J, so it will make a copy, Control J for Windows. Now we need to apply a filter, but before we do that, you have to make sure that your colors here, they are default colors. So just click on this little box here, this one. Do you see this little teeny tiny thing? And it will turn it into black and white, the default colors. After that, you go to filter, you go to filter gallery. In the filter gallery, in the beginning, it might look something like this or something like this. Don't worry. All you have to do is go and find the sketch folder. So open it up. And in the sketch folder, you have to find torn edges. Here, my numbers are 19 for image balance, 14 for smoothness, and 19 for contrast. So if you have the same illustration, cool. If you are using something different, try to keep it simple, but also have enough detail so it looks interesting. This looks okay. Then you can hit OK. Another good thing, for example, now it's a pure black and white photo. So in case you apply the filter and there are some annoying elements, you can just make your brush smaller, like you just get your brush tool from here, make it smaller using your bracket keys, and then you can erase something if you don't like. It's simple as that, so don't worry about it. Now we need to apply different colors for skull and the fire. If you want to keep everything with same color, you can do that. It's your effect, make it however you want. So to change the color of the fire, I'm gonna go and get my magic wand tool, this one, take it and then click on the fire. Tolerance doesn't matter, but if it's going out too much, you can maybe play around with the numbers a bit, but for 16, the default one looks good. So click on your fire. Now, if it's confusing and you cannot see where the selection is, you can click on this button here. So when you click on it, it will show you what has been selected. So we have selected fire, but as you can see, we missed some parts on the outside here. We need to fix that. So I'm gonna go and turn it off. Okay, so we are back to the selection. And make sure you have the second option selected here. It allows you to click multiple times without losing your selection. So I'm gonna go and click on the fire again, this one, then this one. So once you are sure that all the fire has been selected, then you can go to your adjustment layers, and here you have to get a solid color. So do a solid color, and oh, we missed one, but I think that's not a big deal, whatever. So I'm gonna go and give it some nice blue color and give it a bright as you can go. You will need it, believe me. So give it a super bright color, hit OK. Now I will do the same with the skull. So go back to your original layer, the black and white layer, because that's where the details are. Same tool, same process. So go and click again, then turn this button on to see what you have selected. So we miss selection in this portions and on the teeth and eyes. So let's go and do the selection. So everything is selected. Let's just click and make sure, yep, looks good. So it has been selected. Now I'm gonna go and do the same thing, adjustment layers, and then get another solid. And this time I'm gonna get a bit more aquaish color. Yes, so I'm gonna make it a bit more greenish because I need clear separation between blue and greens. So this looks good, and then hit OK. So the basic thing what we are looking for is kind of ready. So the illustration is ready, but as you can see, we missed two spots, this and this. So it's a good thing, because if something like this happens to you, I want to show you how you can fix it. It's actually easy. So go back to your original layer where we have the colors and make the selection of the fire and fire 2 or whatever, the both fires. They are selected. Then we have the blue color here, right, on this layer. So do you see this layer mask? Make it active, get your brush tool, and make sure you have white color here. And then you can just paint it back like this. So because we are painting with white color in a layer mask, it is just revealing that part here. And then you can go to your select and deselect, remove the selection, and we are good. The illustration is ready. So we started from here, and now it looks like this, which is exactly what we need. Now we need to make a composite. So for that, create new blank layer on top of everything and call it main skull. So this will be the base that we will apply on jacket. Now turn layer 0 off, turn this off, and make sure only these two fills are active where you have the colors. Okay, is that clear? Then press Command, Option, Shift and E. It looks like nothing happened, but when I turn this two off as well, as you can see, now we have everything in a one single layer as a composite, which makes it really easy for it to apply on the jacket. And the best part is that, okay, if you want to change something, you can just delete this skull layer like this, turn this things on, and then you can change the color, whatever you want, hit OK, and then you can do the whole process again. You get the point, right? So I'm just gonna Control Z it. So we have everything in a single layer as a skull. Now we can open the jacket photo and start applying the effect. For that, again, I'm gonna go to File and Open, and this time I'm gonna go and select the photo. This is also download link is in description. You can use it for practice. So click the photo and open it. Now before we do anything, we need to make this image a little bit darker so that when we apply the glow, it pops really nice. So for that, create new adjustment layer and go to hue saturation, and here make the lightness -25. So as you can see, now it's a bit more darker. Perfect. Close it. Now you can place in the skull. So go back to your skull file here. So this is what we created. So you can just go press Ctrl A to select everything, then Ctrl C or Command C to copy it, and then you can go to here and then press Ctrl V. So you have the skull. Now we need to place it on the jacket. So press Command T. So it will open the transform menu. Hold your Shift key and make it a little bit bigger like this. So that looks nice. Now what we need to do is distort it so we can, make it look like it's a bit on angle. For that, right click and select distort. So it allows you to change all the corners manually. So go and place this corner here like this. So once you are happy with all the corners that you have placed, you can go and confirm it. Now it's still way too big. So I'm going to press Command T again. Hold my Option and Shift both key together, and then make it smaller. I'm sorry, my keyboard is kind of broken, so I have a bit problem, but as long as you hold your Option and Shift key together, it will scale from the center, and then you can adjust it a little bit. So this kind of looks good. Let's move it to the side a little bit. Yeah, good. Now we need to create the creases. So it looks like, it's actually folding on top of the cloth. It's easier than actually it looks. So what you have to do is first apply a layer mask. So you have the layer mask. And then get your brush tool, and in the brush, go and change the opacity to something like less than 10. So like 8 or 10%. So 8% looks good. In the color, you have to make sure it's black, like a pure black. And now here's the logic. You see the jacket, right? Okay, so let me explain how the creases happen in the cloth, like visually. Let me create a new blank layer so I can explain it to you properly. So let's say this is the cloth. I'm gonna make the opacity 100 for a bit so I can explain. So this is how the crease happens. There is a shadow, and then there is a highlight, and then it goes down again, like this. So, and then again, there is a shadow, then there is a up, and then it goes down again. There's a up, go down again. So this is how, and this is like a really large one. So it goes up, and then here it goes down. So this is how it is creating creases, like visually on a flat image. And we can apply the same principle on the skull. So I'm gonna delete this and turn it on. So every time it goes down, we erase that portion from the skull. So make sure the opacity is back to 8 and you are ready for the process. So this is what you do, like a less than 10 opacity. Make sure layer mask is active and not the layer, okay? The layer mask is active. Then get your brush tool, black color, right click, and also make sure the hardness is 0%. So you can just right click and change it. Now, make the brush a little bit bigger, use your bracket keys. And hide it for a bit and find, okay, this is where there's like a big gap, like a big down portion shadow. So turn it on and there start erasing it, like a little bit like this. At first it will look a bit weird, believe me, but it will work. So let's turn it on and off. So there is another like a big shadow here. Oops, I know. So there's another big shadow here. So I'm gonna go and start erasing it from there as well. Now again, turn it off, find out, okay, so here's also a big shadow, like a big gap. So I'm gonna go and hide the details there as well a little bit. And another tip, make it bit stronger because we will make multiple copies of it to create glows. So this wrinkly effect, it will fade a little bit. So make it a lot more stronger than you actually want it to be. So as you can see, here is a problem. Like I kind of overdid it. I just painted too much and it looks awful. So that's the beauty of layer mask. Now I can change it to white color and then just paint it back and it will not look that bad. So go back and forth, take your time and try to make it look as nice as you can with your current skill level. With masking, without masking. Do you see how massive difference it makes? And here's the best part. Once you are done with all the painting, you can just make sure your mask is active, then go to image, adjustment, and then you can go to levels. And you can change the mid slider to make it more stronger or lighter. It's completely up to you. So I'm gonna make it a bit more stronger because I know I'm going to make copies of it. So yeah, definitely worth trying. So that's done. Now I'm gonna rename this layer. Now we need to make a copy of it. So I'm gonna press Command J, so it will make a copy and then rename it to Glow 1. So now I wanna turn this Glow 1 into a smart object, but I also want to keep the layer mask, which is a problem. Because if I just right click on it and turn it into a smart object, well, it applies the layer mask, which is bad. So what we can do is first of all right click on the layer mask and delete it. So we have our normal layer back again. Then right click and turn it into a smart object. So now we have Glow 1 with a smart object and we can just take this mask and apply here. So to do that, hold your Option key, then take this mask and put it here. And now you have smart object with layer mask. I know, awesome, right? So Now we can start turning into a glow. So make sure the main layer is active and not the mask, the layer. Then you can go to filter, blur, and then go to Gaussian blur. And in the Gaussian blur, first of all, let's start with, I think 2 pixels should be enough. Or maybe let's try 3. So what I'm trying to do is make the edges little bit blurry, because when there is like a glow going on, it's not that like the object is not very sharp. The edges are a little bit blurry. So this is that. Now I'm gonna make a copy of this. So you can press Command J. So you have glow 1 copy, and we can rename it to glow 2. So it's easy to follow. So now we have glow 2, and here, do you see this Gaussian blur? So double click on that, and here I'm gonna change it to, let's say 50 is too much, let's try 40, and then hit OK, and then change the blending mode of this layer to hard light, so it blends in. That looks good. And then if you want to make the effect even more stronger, you can just keep duplicating it. So you can just go Ctrl J and then increase the blur even more, and then you get the point, right? So now I can make it like this and then hit OK. But this looks a bit weird, so I don't like it. So I think until this point it's okay. Maybe we can make it 50 and see how that looks. Yeah, this looks good. And now I'm gonna go and create some surrounding glow, because you know it's a radium printed on jacket which is emitting glow, so there will be little bit on the hands here, little bit here, little bit here, and little bit on the butt. So create new layer and name it glow 3. Get your brush tool. Now we need to pick up this blue color from here. So to do that, hold your option key, so it will turn it into a color picker tool, and then you can pick the color. Then make sure opacity is 100%. Brush is big, so right click and make it big. Okay, that's too big. That's good size. So then you can go and do a click like this. Okay, still too big. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. Yep. And then do a click, click, a little bit down, I think. Yeah. Now we also need to pick up a color from the face. So hold down your option key and pick up the green color from here. Go for the brightest you can. Okay, that's nice. And then I'm gonna do a click and a bit of a click, so we get the butt glow, which is very important. And then take the blending mode of this layer and you can change it to soft light, so it gives it this really strong glow. Looks nice, but it's too strong, so we can change the opacity to like 50-ish%. Okay, I think this looks nice. So if we turn it on and off, yep, that looks good. And then let's try 60. Okay, that looks nice. Now you can make your brush bit smaller, and I still have the green color, right? So I'm gonna paint a little bit on the here, like on the hand, so it's, you know, stronger the effect. But I also want blue, so I'm gonna go and pick up the blue now and paint a little bit here. You can make this a little bit bigger. Oops, wrong key. You can make it a little bit bigger and then blend it in. Okay, and do the same for the other arm. So now we have the glow everywhere, but the problem is it's everywhere. So we need to erase it from, you know, there's this really weird highlight we are getting that we need to erase, and from in between the arms and the waist. So just get your eraser tool. Let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be. Just get eraser tool and then right click, make sure hardness is 0%, and then start erasing it from these portions here, because we don't need it here. And that's it. This is how I created the glowing Cyberpunk logo. One more thing I did is make the colors pop a little bit. So the problem with glow effect is that when you apply too much glow, it starts to fade out the colors too much, which we don't want. So what I'm gonna do is create new adjustment layer and select vibrance. And let's zoom out a bit so you can see what's going on. Okay, now I'm gonna make vibrance all the way to 100. So it pops this as well, and also a little bit here. And then I'm gonna change the saturation to plus 40 and hit enter. So now as you can see the difference, it kind of just gives it that oomph that it needs. So that's that. And now I'm seeing that I painted too much and I need to fix the green color a bit, but you can always go back and erase and paint again. That's not a problem. And now how to change the colors. To do that, activate your glow 3 layer, then hold your shift key and click on the main layer. So everything related to the glow is selected. Then press Ctrl G or Command G. So everything is in a single layer. Now you know where this is going. Then create new adjustment layer and then select hue saturation. And in the hue saturation, go and click on this clipping mask. It will do this really weird thing. I don't know why Photoshop does this, but don't freak out when this happens. Change the color to whatever you like. So let's say I want something like a bit yellow. Yeah, this looks cool, I guess. Then open it up. So this is the glow layer that we painted, which is causing the problem. I don't know why, but this Photoshop magic. So all you have to do is change the opacity to something very low and it will work. So you can try something like 10 or 5 and see, it already looks good. So that's one problem that I don't know why happens, but that's how you fix it. So now you are good. Then you can just go and change around the slider as much as you want. So hey, that looks cool. And it also matches with this, but that's kind of, nah. I prefer the original one a lot more. This one. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it to 0. And that's it, folks. This is how you can create your own Cyberpunk jacket. Take your time, do some practice, you can do this. I believe in you. Okay then, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to ask me in comment section below. If you want to check out more stuff by me, you can click on any of these videos. If you want to get notified every time I upload a new video, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification icon. Until then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.